Guys, it is absolutely mind-blowing. How can one person orchestrate a £3 million immigration scam from Heathrow in the United Kingdom? So today we're going to be looking at the story of this suspect who has now fled the United Kingdom. This guy used to be a former British Airways staff, and he was able to orchestrate a £3 million immigration scam.
Here's a really remarkable story for you. A former Heathrow check-in supervisor for British Airways is on the run in India after being accused of charging passengers 25 grand to allow them onto flights without passports, without documentation.
So what this guy will do, according to the report that we're going to look at, is that it will allow people pass onto the flight without having a valid visa. Like, how mind-blowing is that? So he used to work as a supervisor with the British Airways, and he will go to the check-in desk at Heathrow, check people in, and they do not have any visa. Like, they just have passport, no visa, and he's going to stamp them in after charging them a whooping £25,000 per person. See, today we have a lot of things to talk about. Like, I have a lot of things to gist you guys about, but we're going to be looking at this because I find it mind-blowing. How can one person orchestrate this kind of scam? Like, what are you even thinking? What was he thinking? And is he even working alone? Is it possible for one person to work alone, to stamp people without a visa and allow them to fly to Canada from the UK? So hi guys, my name is Yeti and welcome to another episode of Yettysplash. On today's episode of Yettysplash, well, gisting, like, I bring to you the latest immigration scam in history. Like, UK immigration scam. You would not even believe it, that one person was able to put people on a flight without a valid visa. Like, things are happening, people. Things are happening. This one, I don't even know how to react when I saw the news on Guardian a few days back. Because how is it even possible? With all the airport checks, security, people are getting on a plane without visa. And he was able to, because according to reports, he charges £25,000 per person. And he was able to do this for almost 120 people. How? For years, and until recently that the Canadian government noticed the pattern, and we're going to uncover everything. Let me just show you guys. Let's just read it together. Let me just, show you how it has been reported on Guardian newspaper. So it's not like I'm just bringing you half gist. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, my name is Eti, and on this channel I share information that can help people relocate abroad. So if this is something that interests you, please do well to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to keep following Yettysplash for more. So on today's episode, we're looking at the biggest immigration scam of all time, worth over £3 million. £3 million, and this was said to have been orchestrated by a 24-year-old that has now fled the United Kingdom. Let me just go through the Guardian newspaper for you. It says that former BA, that is British Airways, employee allegedly orchestrated a £3 million immigration scam from Heathrow check-in desk. So this 24-year-old suspect, who is believed to have been helping passengers claim asylum in Canada, absconded to India following his arrest. So he was arrested, of course, then placed on bail, and then he fled the UK and has gone to India, I think, which is his home country. So let's read further. A former British Airways employee is reportedly under investigation over allegations that he orchestrated a £3 million immigration scam from Heathrow check-in desk. Guys, like, I don't know if this is just like I'm watching African stories or African magic or Netflix story, because this is so funny. From Heathrow check-in desk, he was able to orchestrate a scam of £3 million. And you want to tell me that he's working alone? I'm not really sure, but let's go on. The 24-year-old suspect left his job and moved to India after being bailed over the claims, according to the Times. So the BA check-in supervisor alleged to have charged people £25,000 to wave them through Terminal 5 on 2 planes without valid visa documents. Like, no visa documents, and they are just on flight, just like that. A source told The Guardian The alleged incident is believed to have involved helping people circumvent immigration laws to get into Canada, and that the passenger had the correct documentation to be in the UK. So these people, they have the right documentation to be in the UK, but they are trying to get to Canada, and then they paid £25,000. See, there's some things I cannot waste my money for in this life. Like, there are some things I cannot. If I have £25,000, the last thing I will use it to do is to do any runs or illegal immigration runs. Like, I understand and I appreciate, migration. I appreciate the fact that I want to move to a better country from where I'm coming from. But what I will not do, number one, is to sell my properties and to relocate abroad. I don't think that is something that I can do. And number two is to run migration, especially when you're now sure that it's even illegal. In this case, like, you don't have a visa, it's illegal migration, and you pay if you have £25,000 and this is what you want to use it for. There are other countries in the world that you can relocate to without £25,000 legally, either as a student or to work or something. There are other things that they could have explored, but they would rather give somebody £25,000 to put them on a plane to Canada without a valid visa, only for them to get to Canada and still now start claiming asylum. Like, is it not from fry pan to fire? Because, guys, are you really feeling me? This story is mind-blowing. The majority of travelers who benefited were Indian citizens planning on claiming asylum in Canada and who were told to fly from India to the UK on a temporary visitor visa. Can you imagine? Like, they were asked to come to the UK on a temporary visitor visa, then they will now go to Canada even though they have no valid Canadian visa or Canada visa on their passports. Others were UK-based asylum claimants at the risk of being denied the right to remain and being deported. So people that, they've been claiming asylum in the UK and they are probably at the risk of being deported, they will now go to this guy, offer him £25,000. It will put them on a plane going to Canada, only for them to get to Canada and now claim asylum. How? Anyway, let's keep reading. A BA spokesperson said on Tuesday, "We are assisting the authorities with their investigation. The man was arrested," that is this alleged suspect now who they refused to name, was arrested on the 6th of January and subsequently absconded to India, where he is understood to have multiple homes. Wow. He was accompanied by his partner, who also worked for the airline, the Times reported. So, two people now, they fled the country. UK Border Force and police are working with Indian authorities to track down the pair who have not been named. The UK has an extradition treaty in place with India. Yes, I'm aware of that. So, a Home Office spokesperson said it will be inappropriate to comment while an investigation is ongoing. Airlines usually check that passengers meet the entry requirements for their destination. Yes, come to think of it though, it is airline that you will go to the counter, they will check you in, things like that. But I'm still, how would you now orchestrate this kind of thing? If the airline checks you in, you go through security. Do they check our passport again? I know they will check our passport at that counter where you then get your boarding pass, things like that, if you don't even do it yourself. And then you go, in Nigeria, you go through immigration, they check your passport again. There are like 3-4 places at the Nigerian embassy that, like, I'm talking about if you're flying into the UK now from Nigeria, there are like 3 places your passport needs to be checked. So, are you telling me this guy did this all by himself? Or he had persons in each, points at which they check your passport? Because I'm still confused as to how one person is able to orchestrate this, put people on a plane without a valid visa. Like, that is some kind of crazy idea that I would never have thought that someone would actually be doing, to the point of making a whooping £3 million from it, and doing that for almost over 100 passengers in the past 5 years. Wow. Airlines usually check that passengers meet the entry requirements for their destination. Passengers with visas have a manual visa check before their boarding pass is validated. The alleged fraud is understood to have involved passengers who had booked flights to Canada without a valid visa. So airline sources said the suspect would subsequently ensure they would go to his check-in desk at Terminal 5, where he could falsely enter on the system that he had seen proof of a visa. It would also process passengers at the border gates, the Times report said. The passenger would reportedly claim asylum upon arrival in Canada. Like, why would you pay £25,000? It's the madness for me. Why would you pay a whooping £25,000 to go and claim asylum? I don't know what lies or what stories they would have sold to these people that, or what golden ticket they think claiming asylum would bring to them. But why would you use £25,000 to go and claim asylum in another country again? Officials in Canada became concerned after a pattern emerged of passengers on BA flights to Toronto or Vancouver arriving without a visa to claim asylum. So it was the Canadian officials that noticed it, that every time this BA flight is coming from the UK to Canada, Vancouver, you will see Toronto or Vancouver, you will see that these people are just coming in, they have no valid visa and they are claiming asylum. Like, how? So the pattern is that they will have a valid visa from the UK. So it's either they are on a visitor's visa or either in transit. Most likely they're just on a visitor's visa to the UK, temporary visitor visa to the UK, or they are seeking asylum in the UK, and then this guy will tell them to buy ticket going to Canada. They would come to him. It would ensure that, okay, they come at dates in which he's working at Heathrow, because he's a supervisor, one of the British Airways supervisor. It would ensure that they come in days on which he's working, and then it will check them in, that you are seeing their visa and things like that, then go to the boarding gate as well to check them in. So I'm just confused as to how one person is able to do this, because I want to believe he's not working alone. I think they really need to further investigate this. I don't think he's working alone. I don't think it's possible for one person to be able to do all of that all by himself. Like, I find it really, really funny, or really, I'm not saying the story is unbelievable. The story is believable. Some people are quite smart, especially when it comes to scam and illegal things like that. You'll be surprised as to what people can do. But the fact that he did it alone, I'm not still convinced. I think there are other people involved and they should further investigate the situation. But yeah, guys, it is really, really intriguing. I mean, I won't say funny, but the story is quite intriguing. He's now at large. The governments are looking for him. There's extradition law in place. Hopefully, if they find him in India, where he's currently enjoying his wealth that he has amassed, £3 million. Like, guys, see, and this is also to everyone out there. Like, in as much as I know some of us might be desperate when it comes to migration, you're not comfortable, in the country you are currently, you want to move to a better country, greener pasture and things like that. But if you have £25,000, I would not in a million years advise anybody to use it to go and either do anything that has to do with illegal migration. It's 2024. You can't get away with it. You just probably trap yourself the more. Now they're on another journey to asylum. What if they don't grant them that asylum? What if this, what if that? And you had a whooping £25,000. If it was maybe £1,000, I would have said, oh, okay. But paying £25,000 for nonsense, nah. Anyways, guys, share your thoughts with me in the comment section, because I'm really, really looking forward to reading what you think about this person. Do you think that he's smart, or do you think that rather our airport security is not tightened enough? Because how can you move somebody on a plane without a visa? Like, mad, that one is mind-blowing. How can you get somebody on a plane without a valid visa, without no visa at all? So it's not even a matter of valid visa. This one is that they don't have any visa at all. All they have is passport. They are legal in the UK, but they will then buy a ticket to Canada without a visa allowing them to go to Canada. I mean, it's an interesting story. Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of today's video. If there's any updates about this story, I'll keep updating you guys. I'll gist you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like, share. You would definitely love it here. Okay, I love you guys so much. Keep watching Yettysplash. Follow me on Instagram and stay blessed. Bye, guys.